Hey man, welcome back to Man Time. Today's episode, we're going to try something a little bit different using a GoPro for some of this footage. We're going to see how all this looks via GoPro. Welcome to Man Time. This is looking much better than my normal camera. So we are going to go with this. Here is my life for the last every weekend. You can see the internal structure as I described it. You've got 12-inch beams going across the top there, and you've got 6-inch beam supporting all of the 12-inch beam. Now through the top here we have got 8-inch C-purling, and yeah, my life has been right here. All this is a weld together unit, and every stitch of it has been cut and welded by me. And we'll go through some of the features here that we're looking at. But yeah, all of this is going to be exposed within the living area here. Okay, well, it looks like this is going to be the camera to use for somewhat usable footage within the unlit building here, off-grid. And as you can see here, yeah, everything is up and ready to go on this side. It is all welded together, and I'm going to bring you up in the man lift, and we'll take a look at what's been going on here. All these are 2-foot on center. They make 2-foot on center tongue and groove plywood flooring that's going to go right on top of here, and should hold up pretty good. The 8-inch is a little overkill. The 12-inch is probably overkill. Everything is overkill because I want this to last for a long time and not have to worry about anything for the remainder of my life as far as structure of the building. So that's what I'm going for here. So here we are up in the rafters, and you can see here I've got purling on either side. I mean, we're going to turn around and look at how this is all set up. Going back this way, I am all completed as far as getting all the purling set up here. I'm alternating them where the C-purling, like on this one here, is in, and then on the next one it's out over there, you know. But yeah, right here on where the beams meet up, I did get a pretty good match up there as far as those go. And oddly enough, on the ends, we'll go down here and take a look in just a second. But where the C-purling is on the actual building, the 12-inch W-beam came right up to that. So I don't need to do anything at the ends. I can just basically lay one of these pieces of purling right on the purling that the building is already got on it, and it fits right up here. But you can see here how I've got everything lined up. I've got my marks 12 2-foot on centers, and I just measured from the very edge of the wall of the R panel. So the measurement is right up against the R panel there, and then that's where the boards are going to sit, of course. So came out and just measured every 2-foot and then backspaced it off. I think the measurement on these for the width is 2 3/8. So I came back 1 3/16 or something thereabouts. I don't remember exactly what the backspace was because I've already got it all laid out and ready to go. So, yeah, let's do some welding. Okay, so this is basically it. Get it down. Yeah, I start on one side, weld a full pass, and then move to the other side. Typically what I'll have to do is I'll kind of bend the purling back a little bit to get it perfectly flat again, because it kind of wants to push the primer off of there. Last one I'm going to have to readjust here, but let's get you up here and see what was going on. Yeah, so right in here is the weld. You can see the Millermatic, or I'm sorry, I'm using my Lincoln 140C, and we are lined right up with our marks, you know, centered on both those lines. I started off just making one mark offset. I was like, you know what, just so I don't screw up, let's make two marks where it'll line up perfect. All right, so after I get done with the weld, I'll just move my leads off of there. Of course, we are in the bucket, and so let's get more centered up with this one here. Of course, I've got to make sure I'm not running over my cable as I'm doing this. And look clear. There we go. And then I'll reattach my ground. And then it's going to out of the way. There we go. All right, yeah, one thing I can definitely tell you for this job, I am not wearing near the recommended PPE. It is hot and humid, and although I've done a pretty good job acclimating to a Texas summer, it is still very, very hot and humid. So I've got a t-shirt on, shorts, like my house shoes. I do have these FR sleeves, regular just leather gloves, and keeping my fingers off of the heat, you know, just being cognizant of it. But it's very difficult to go by the rules when it's this hot. You know, anybody that says you need to wear a full smock and leather apron and this and that, try welding 10 foot up in a metal building in a Texas summer and then see how you feel about that. Because it's probably going to be changing your tune a little bit. We'll go through all the welding gear that I've got up here on the man lift in just a second. I'm making this weld. Got a couple more to make, and then we'll go through some of that. Well, let's go over all the stuff on the man lift here that I've got to work with. So I've got actually my Lincoln 140C set up on here, and I've got just a selection of goodies up top. I've got some paint pens, I've got some markers, I've got just some basic tools there, crescent wrench, of course the different marking utensils, tape measure, tin snips, and down here I've got my 20 volt DeWalt with a sanding disc on it, and that's to clean up all the edges. Once I get the purling lined up where they're supposed to be, I'll take my chalk marker, chalk off either side of it, slide it to one side, and then polish off the primer that's on there. Let's go up here and take a look. Yeah, so up here you can see either side of the metal has been cleaned up, and like I said, I'll take my pen, you know, mark it on either side, slide it one way, and then come up and get a nice clean welding surface prepped and ready to go there. All right, well, now that we can actually see in here with this camera, I thought I'd take you around and just give you an up-close look at the structure that I built here. So we'll turn you around. This is the very center of the building. This is, again, a 60 by 100 building. So this is right down the middle of the, or at the 30-foot mark here. So you can see I've got these, and the plan is to put actually 2x4s directly in the center of these, and I'll figure something out to attach those. I've got an idea how to do that. But yeah, you've got two of these big I-beams, and one problem that I ran into is that the main building uprights are not equidistant for the width part of it. They're within like an inch one way or another. So I think there is directly in the center, like this one over here versus these two, is a little bit more in, like by about an inch either side, which makes it 2 inches overall. But you can see here I have got all of the C-purling done along here, and one of the key structure points I wanted to talk about was right here in this corner. Of course, you can see up there we've got 6-inch beam bolted to the floor using shims to get that perfectly vertical, and then 6-inch going across this way, and then the 12-inch sitting on top of that, and then of course purling on top of that. But yeah, you can see where it worked out right along the purling that was already on the building. I was able to just set another piece of 8-inch purling right on top of that, and it worked out really good. This is anchored to the building right here. I've got a little piece of angle that attaches on either side there. So it is very good. I did have to notch out, I don't know if you can see up there, but I did have to notch out some pieces of this 12-inch W-beam. On this side of the house, I was able to do, an upright directly underneath both of the 12-inch beams there. I did end up coming off of the original structure with a piece of that 6-inch W, laid a piece of 6-inch on top of it, and then came over here. And because, of course, there's a window here, I was able to set that 12-inch beam there. Again, 16.667 offset from each one of these here to the end. And at the end, I did the same thing. I didn't really, so the way that the plumbing is set up here, I went off of the center line because I figured, center would be a good divider. And of course, you need 12 inches, 11 inches, something like that, off of the wall for the toilet. And so, of course, I strung a straight line across when I did all the plumbing. And this one is actually going to sit a little bit on the outside. This is going to be washer dryer hookups for the laundry room. But yeah, I decided to go, again, it shows up here. I decided to go this side of it, so all of the 12-inch beams in the building are going to be exposed, in the building. And the fact that they're rusty is just really cool. People pay a lot of money to get that faux patina on metal to look exactly like that, and I don't have to do anything for that. But yeah, down back here, for the plumbing, again, I have a shower that's exactly 2 foot plus a little bit off of the wall, 12-inch off for the toilet. And again, the 12-inch beam rests right on that piece of 6-inch. I was going to try to maybe come over here somewhere and have another beam come up and have it off of this side, but this way, it's saving me some money from the uprights, and it's structurally sound and all that still. With this upright here, one upright on this side, and then the main tie-off points to the engineered frame, that was already there. So I am halfway done with all of the C-purling. All of this stuff is welded in. I'm going to probably do a little, square gusset that extends over both of the 12-inch beams before I call it all said and done. But yeah, this is going to give just a huge amount of character to the place, having this patinaed 12-inch W-beam. Yeah, looks pretty good. One thing I still have to do, you can see there is a gap between the both pieces of purling. I'm just going to weld everything. I was planning on coming through, drilling holes, bolting it together. Screw that. I'm just going to grab a couple clamps, clamp those two pieces together, and then put a bead of weld down it, do a little stitch weld on the top there to bring those two pieces together. I'm gonna have to do that here and here. You can see again the gap, and that comes from welding, you know, just one side of the center beam there. All right, man, well, that is gonna do it for today on Man Time. If you like this type of stuff, make sure to thumbs up, subscribe. If you're looking to build a barndominium, hopefully this was some helpful tips for you. A big building like this, it's got 16-foot walls with, I think, a 22-foot peak. It's gonna be a 12-2 pitch on the roof. So a little bit steeper pitch, which is what I wanted, again, so I could have storage. This is storage up here for stuff above the living space. Of course, AC units are going to go right up there, all of the ductwork, all of that stuff. Electrical going to be run up there. So it's going to be a pretty useful surface. And I decided to go with the wood, the 3/4 inch plywood, tongue and groove. That's going to make it nice and flat where I can, you know, roll a dolly around or whatever I want to do up there. So hopefully this helped you guys out. Whatever you do, get out there, have you some man time too.